Well, the main Premier League talking points this week have been surrounding managers. Earlier in the week, Rafa Benitez, it was announced, will be leaving Newcastle after his contract expires at the end of June. And now it looks like Chelsea could be set to appoint their former midfield star Frank Lampard to replace Maurizio Sarri. It's Warren Ashurst and Chris Rivers to talk you through the latest events at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, of course, were given permission by Derby this week to allow them to speak to Lampard about the vacancy. Chris, I think it'll probably get the fans on side. There's a few raised eyebrows amongst the footballing fraternity that they're taking Lampard on after just one season of experience as a manager. But as I say, the Chelsea fans will probably be quite happy with this.
Yeah, they certainly are. They certainly feel that he is the right man for the job. I think, given his connections to Chelsea previously, of course, he's their all-time leading goal scorer, won 11 major trophies with Chelsea as a player, and he's got a strong connection to the Stamford Bridge contingent. So they, as you say, will feel he is the right man for the job, particularly his ability to work with young players as well as he showed with Derby County. Took on a couple of players on loan from Chelsea last season, Mason Mount being the standout talent. And so I think they feel that he could get the best out of this academy, which has been underused, I think it's fair to say, under previous managers.
And of course, that is the task because they don't have any ability to bring new players in with this transfer ban. They've lost Eden Hazard, their best player. They're going to have to rely on youth. But also, Roman Abramovich, we know his sort of style of ownership. You know, he's got through quite a lot of managers during his time in charge of Chelsea. Maybe he has to be a little bit more patient this time, realising that they can't just lose their best player and then not be able to bring everybody in, rely on youngsters, and yet still look to try and get in the top four.
Yeah, it always seems like the clock is ticking on Chelsea managers, doesn't it, with Roman Abramovich ready to push the button at any moment. He's got to show a bit more patience. Whether he will, I think, is hugely debatable. Could well be a stain on Lampard's Chelsea career if he didn't succeed, or if he doesn't succeed straight away, because they're so used to winning trophies, so used to being in the Champions League. And it is a massive gamble for me because of the fact that they don't have Eden Hazard, and two of their top young players who Lampard probably would have leaned on in Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Callum Hudson-Odoi will miss the start of the next season and at least the first few months with serious injuries.
So let's have a quick look then at the pros and cons. As far as the pros are concerned, the major plus being that the Chelsea fans will be right behind Frank Lampard from the start. They will certainly be patient with him. Whether the owner will be or not, we'll wait and see. But he certainly worked with quite a few of the Chelsea youngsters in the past, and he's going to have to work with them on a more regular basis this time around if he is going to get them heading in the right direction. He comes in as well, more than likely, with Jody Morris at the alongside of him in the dugout as an assistant. He, of course, another former Chelsea midfielder, so he's got experience of how things are done at Stamford Bridge. But I suppose the telltale sign is this big step up in terms of he's had one season in the Championship. He's now going to the Premier League. We know how big a step it is, Chris, and he's got to take to that really quickly. Yeah, he has. He had a difficult job to do at Derby because they trimmed the wage budget before he took charge. He still managed to get them into the playoffs, got them all the way to the playoff final, and they just fell at the final hurdle in that Championship playoff final. But you look at his win ratio, 42%. It's okay, isn't it? He's not done anything standout in his career. He would say that he hasn't really been given the platform to work upon, and Chelsea may well be that club that can help him raise his profile as a manager now. But it's just a huge gamble, isn't it? As you say, everybody outside of Stamford Bridge is looking at this appointment thinking, well, it could go one way or another. I think it's 50-50 either way. Yeah, and looking at the minus side of it, things there, no Eden Hazard, who's clearly been Chelsea's best player for the last 5 or 6 years, you have to say. No ability to bring players in the transfer market. It's a massive blow that. Not only would it be a major blow anyway, but the fact that their rivals to the top four will be spending big this summer to further strengthen their squad. There's every chance that Chelsea will slip down the pecking order in the battle for Champions League football. Plus, as you say, a couple of players already injured at that level. Yeah. I think it's crucial that if he does, as we expect him to take over at Chelsea, he has to get off to a good start.
Yeah, I think he will have to hit the ground running, and Chelsea fans, I think, may well quickly realise if things don't go right, how good a job Maurizio Sarri did last season. OK, they were heavily relying on Eden Hazard and he's gone, but you think about what Sarri achieved. They finished third in the table. They had a great start to the season. They were in the title picture early on. I think it's tough to see Chelsea being in a similar position come the turn of the year.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Petr Cech, of course, has come in, another Chelsea legend behind the scenes, so he might work well in conjunction, of course, with Frank Lampard as well. As I say, Chelsea still trying to iron out the finer details in terms of getting Frank Lampard into the managerial hot seat, but it seems a matter of time before Lampard, the club's record scorer, becomes the new manager. The first English manager, by the way, at Stamford Bridge since Glenn Hoddle was in charge as well, so that's another new factor to take into account. Let us know your thoughts on the potential arrival of Frank Lampard at Stamford Bridge on our social media channels, on Twitter and also on Facebook. And of course, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.